I was a high school PE teacher. I was in my sixth year of teaching when students decided to look me up on social media. There, they found my Christian conservative views and took issue to several of the posts on my Instagram page. They submitted those to my school district, and my school district immediately removed me out of my class and put me on leave and began investigating. And through that, they decided that my basically my Christian conservative views weren't allowed to be posted as I was doing, and I was asked to make my account private, and I was told I could come back to work just barely, but now I would need to follow some directives. And so they put on me these transgender directives, and it was the first time I had ever heard of them as a teacher. And so I had a big decision to make because these directives really went completely against my faith and my beliefs. The first one was that I would have to call students by their preferred gender or pronoun. So counter to whatever the district was giving me on my roll call sheets, it was now whatever the students, felt like. And secondly, I would have to withhold that information from parents. So, I learned that day I was expected now to lie to parents. And, that's definitely not something I signed up to do as a teacher. And thirdly, unique to me being a PE teacher, I would have to let transgenders in my girls' locker room, which I clarified. So potentially a boy in the girls' locker room. And they said yes, if he is now identifying as a she. So, as I said, with now learning these directives, I had a big decision to make. I actually went on stress leave for quite a bit to figure out what decision to make because essentially I had an ultimatum: follow these policies, these transgender directives, or you're done. And so, really debated on what to do, was scared about losing my teaching salary I worked, so hard for. I went to college for about 7 years. But in the end, I did choose to speak out. I felt like that was the right decision in this, not to put my head in the sand and not even to resign and walk away as I considered for a minute, but to just make my beliefs known to the school district and let them know these directives, they come head to head with what I believe in, and really with what is the truth. The truth of male and female, the truth of that parents have rights first and foremost to the upbringing of their own children. And, as a teacher, it's my first job to protect all of my students, and so potentially to allow a boy in my girls' locker room, that would not have been me doing my job. So spoke out against those directives, and the school district said, it sounds like you are requesting a religious accommodation meeting. Come in and we'll see if and how we can accommodate you. In that meeting, I was asked several questions about my faith as a Christian. That was like nothing I've ever experienced before, because I had, several, superiors in the school district questioning me on my, personally held, religious beliefs as a Christian, like where I go to church and what I read and how often, and what is it exactly about my beliefs that says I can't, go along with a child's confusion about their gender identity and withhold that information from their parents, just in case the parents don't know, or let boys in the girls' locker room. And like I said, it was quite a bizarre experience, honestly, for me to be asked all those questions. And even even because I believe that, religious beliefs aside, that these things, it's common sense. Science shows, our chromosomes, and those can't be changed. I mean, you are born male or you're born female, and even if you try to do all the various things, you're not going to change that down to the chromosome. And, so it was definitely a crazy experience to be asked all those questions, but I, just answered honestly, and I could tell that the school district was not happy with my answers because they really wanted to see me bend, and bow and just say, okay, fine, I'll do what you're asking of me. And I just kept, holding my ground on what the truth is and what I know is best for my students and myself and their parents. And at the end of that, they decided they could not accommodate my religious beliefs, and I was sent a letter about a week later stating that I would be released from employment because my beliefs could not be accommodated. It was like I couldn't believe it, that I was being let go of as a teacher. But again, I just knew like God's up to something, God's doing something here. And so I would say maybe a week or two after that, I put out a video. I just knew there was no question that I was going to seek justice for this wrongdoing. And that is when I sought counsel from Advocates for Faith and Freedom. And we filed this lawsuit in May of 2023. So it pretty much took place over the course of one full year. And then we came to this settlement agreement.
So when we filed the lawsuit back in May of 2023, it began just a long legal battle with the school district. So that entails a lot of discovery. So we're exchanging documents, email communications, trying to figure out why the district placed these specific directives on Jessica. Part of Jessica's story is that, again, she didn't receive any disciplinary actions. It was because several students had found her personal social media, her personal Instagram, and reported some of the posts that she had put on her social media to the school district that they found offensive. And it was based upon those social media posts that resulted in the district calling Jessica in, and then it eventually issuing her a notice of unprofessional conduct and placing these directives upon Jessica. And so over the past year, we've been in communication with the district. And again, knowing that the school district has violated Jessica's First Amendment rights, did not uphold their duty under Title VII as required to accommodate Jessica's religious beliefs. And so very early on, the school district discussed settling, but this case is not about money. Very much is about the principle. And Jessica took a stand, not to get money. She loves teaching. She loves her job. She loves her students. And so the most important aspect of this case was that it would send a message, a strong message, not only to the school district, but encourage other teachers to take a stand and to be bold. And so we went through different conversations with the district and discussed settlement, and those conversations never really led to any type of fruitful conversation regarding settlement until we reached this settlement, and the school district agreed to pay $360,000 in order to settle the case. And the school district would not have settled for that amount if they did not think that they hadn't done anything wrong. So with any settlement, it's no, I think the terms in the settlement say, this is no admission of wrongdoing. But all that means is it just means that there's been no decision before a court. However, the school district would not agree to pay $360,000 to a former employee if they did not think they hadn't done anything wrong. And so this settlement, again, the amount of the settlement and just where we're at right now, where we see good teachers like Jessica being pushed out of the public school system, it's an incredible victory. And it's going to put other school districts on notice that you can't push out good teachers and expect to get away with it because there is a financial cost to pay for that. And so this settlement marks the end of the lawsuit for Jessica and closes the legal aspect of it, but it is just the beginning for Jessica. And again, with this campaign that we're launching, Teachers Don't Lie, to be able to really inspire and encourage and equip other teachers to be bold in whatever workplace, whatever type of school they're in.
I hope it is just the beginning of us seeing things turn around in public education. I think pretty much everyone at this point has seen how dark it's gotten in so many ways, from just some of the books and the content and materials, being put in front of children in the schools now, to boys competing in girls sports and events and just robbing them of their titles and their hard work, to this whole the specific directives that I had placed on me of the preferred pronouns that don't actually line up with what we know that child is, and the whole withholding information from parents, just completely undercutting of parental rights. There's a lot of, like I said, darkness that has infiltrated the public school system. So my hope is that this can just be the beginning of us seeing things turn around and get back to what public education used to be, where a parent dropped their kids off and really trusted the school system to take care of them and keep them safe and educate them in truth, and not go against their own rights as parents or withhold anything from them. And those are all now worries, unfortunately, that a parent holds as they send their kids off to school. It's they're worrying, what are they going to be exposed to this day? What unsafe situation might they be put in? What might a teacher withhold from me? And so, like I said, I think it's going to take more than just my story, but I do believe my story will cause many, many more to realize they can take a stand, and we don't have to settle with this as the new norm. Our children deserve better than what's happening right now in the public school system, and they're absolutely worth fighting for. I don't think I'll ever stop teaching. I haven't stopped teaching the second I was placed, off of work and back at home. I'm now home with my three little ones. And so I went immediately to homeschooling them. So that is currently what I'm doing. I'm homeschooling my three children. But also just we're kicking off this Teachers Don't Lie organization, which we're really, really excited about. From the day that I was fired and my story went public, I have gotten hundreds of messages from teachers looking for support and asking my advice and sharing with me about the, situation they're in. And so I saw the need right away, for teachers today with, again, these policies and directives that are just not good and not right. And so it's an honor for me to get to stand alongside of them and just encourage them to simply, like I said, take a stand in truth.
If you haven't checked out CaliforniaInsider.com, we highly recommend you do that now, because we're going to have a lot of news and videos there. And on top of what we have there right now, we are building a really big platform to cover what's happening in California, so you can be informed. We're going to have more shows, more videos from all aspects of life in California. Go to CaliforniaInsider.com and we'll see you there.